Hello, welcome back to Kim Reads. We continue with Pinocchio. Chapter 4 Pinocchio Meets Fox and Cat. The next morning, the director sent Pinocchio off with well wishes and 5 pieces of gold. He had only given Pinocchio the gold after the puppet had described how poor Geppetto had sold his only coat. "Goodbye, fellow puppets," Pinocchio cried and set off for home. A few steps down the road he met a lame fox and a blind cat walking arm in arm. "Good morning, Pinocchio," Fox said. "How do you know my name?" the puppet asked. "We know your father as well. We saw him just yesterday, shivering in his shirt sleeves." "Oh, poor father," Pinocchio cried. "But after today he will shiver no longer. I have become a rich man." Thinking Pinocchio a poor silly puppet, Cat and the Fox just laughed. "Stop laughing at me," Pinocchio said angrily. "I can prove it." And with that he took the gold pieces out of his pocket and revealed them. At the sight of his gold, two interesting things happened. First, the supposedly lame fox reached out his paw. Then the supposedly blind cat opened his eyes wide with excitement and greed. The paw and the eyes returned so quickly to their original conditions, however, that Pinocchio did not notice. "So, what do you plan to do with your money?" Fox asked casually. "I am going to buy a new coat for my father and a new workbook for myself," Pinocchio said. "Then I can study." "Are you sure you want to do that?" Fox asked grimly. "Studying made me lame." "Studying made me blind," the cat said. Blackbird, perched on a fence nearby, started to say something that sounded like a warning. But in the blink of a not-so-blind eye, the cat leapt up and ate him, feather and feet and all. "Why did you do that?" Pinocchio asked, alarmed. "That bird talked too much," Cat said. Not unlike a certain cricket, Pinocchio thought. "And how did you do that if you're blind?" Pinocchio asked. "Oh, just lucky," Cat replied. "You can be lucky too," Fox told the puppet. "You can turn your 5 pieces of gold into 2,000. "How?" Pinocchio breathed. "Come with us to the City of Simpletons," Fox replied. Pinocchio's face fell. "I can't," he said. "Father has been waiting for me. Cricket was right. Children who do not listen cannot be happy in this world." "Nonsense," Fox said. Pinocchio hesitated. He had to ask, "How can 5 pieces of gold possibly become 2,000? And so Cat and Fox explained that just outside the City of Simpletons there was a magical field called the Field of Wonders. If you went there at dawn, dug a hole, buried a gold piece, and then watered it and sprinkled it with a pinch of salt, the gold piece would grow into a beautiful tree whose leaves and flowers were glittering with gold pieces." Pinocchio was filled with hope. Forgetting his father, the new coat, the workbook, and all his good resolutions, he told his new friends, "Let's go." Cat and Fox walked the puppet for a long time, but the Field of Wonders was far away and night was setting in. When they came to an inn called the Inn of the Red Shrimp, Fox suggested they stop and eat and rest. "At midnight we'll start out again, for at dawn tomorrow we must be at the field." Cat felt weak and was unable to eat only 35 sardines with tomato sauce and 4 helpings of spaghetti and butter cheese. 4 helpings of spaghetti? Fox was fat, and his doctor had put him on a diet, so he had to be satisfied with a sweet and sour rabbit and a dozen young and tender spring chickens and a few partridges and some pheasants and a dozen frogs and lizards, but that was all. When supper was over, Fox asked the innkeeper for 2 rooms so the group could take a nap. "And give us a wake-up call at midnight," Fox said. "Yes, sir," the innkeeper said. Once in his room, Fox immediately fell into a deep sleep, full of fantastic dreams of magical gold fields. Just as Pinocchio was about to reach out and grab the gold in his dream, he was awakened by 3 loud knocks at the door. It was the innkeeper. "Cat and Fox left 2 hours ago," he said. "Cat was called on a home emergency." "They said you agreed to pay for supper," he said. "They did?" Pinocchio asked. Perhaps he had agreed, although he couldn't remember doing so. "Where did they say they would meet me at the Field of Wonders at sunrise. You better start walking now. Pinocchio paid 1 gold piece for the 3 suppers and the 2 rooms and then headed out. It was very hard going. It was dark and he didn't have any directions. A few bats skimmed his nose now and then and scared him half to death. Once or twice he shouted, "Who goes there?" And the faraway hills echoed back at him, "Who goes there? Who goes there? Who goes?" Suddenly, Pinocchio noticed a tiny insect sitting on the trunk of a nearby tree, glowing strangely in the moonlight. "Who are you?" Pinocchio asked. Then he realized it was a talking cricket. Pinocchio shivered. Cricket looked almost ghostly, or at least a firefly glowing in the dark. "I want you to give you some words of advice. Return home and give the 4 pieces you have left to your father, who misses you terribly." "But Cricket," Pinocchio insisted, "tomorrow I will make father a rich man, for those 4 remaining pieces will become thousands." "There is no such thing as overnight wealth, my boy. Go home." "But I want to go on," Pinocchio insisted. "What did I tell you about disobedient boys?" Cricket asked. "The same nonsense you're telling me now," Pinocchio replied. "You still talk too much. Goodbye." "Goodbye, Pinocchio," Cricket said, "and good luck escaping the danger that awaits you." "What danger?" Pinocchio wondered out loud. But Cricket's light was gone. As if someone had blown out a candle, the road was once again pitch black and lonely. And that's the end. Thanks for listening. I will see you next time.